All right, everyone. So I have some new interesting stuff to share with you guys today, and this first image right here is actually in the official game files. I know it looks a little bit strange, but it is in the official game files, and this is an image of a champion that we do not have in-game. In fact, this champion is actually supposed to be one of the Battle Pass Season 2 champions. However, you know, it's been a while since we've really heard a whole lot about Battle Pass Season 2. Maybe things have changed since then, but it is still labeled in the actual game files as being related to Battle Pass Season 2. And I'll have a bit more information about that in a second as well. Now, I also have an animated version of this guy here as well, also in the game files, which is really, really cool. So you get to actually take a look at his attack animation. And just so you guys can see that a couple of the files where some of these images came from were recently updated on July 13th, so just a few days ago. And don't let the names confuse you or make it seem like it's not really that much, because interestingly enough, there was actually a lot of really cool new stuff that were added to these two game files here. News Banners Pack 9 2.0.0 and News Banners Small Pack 2 2.0.0. So now I want to show you guys the animated version here of that champion, and you can actually see his attack animation in action. Now, I have a question for you guys, because this is one of those things that unfortunately I'm not going to be able to figure out for myself. Looking at this animation, I don't have the craziest superpower memory. I'm wondering if you guys know, does this attack animation here come from any other champion in the game, or is this a fully unique, brand new attack animation? I know Plarium has definitely done reskins for certain champions. It's pretty obvious if you actually go into the index here, especially for, you know, like orcs, for example. If we take a look at Bonekeeper here, and then we take a look at Shaman, and then we even take a look at Seer, they're obviously all the same model with a few changes. And, you know, sometimes this can do well, sometimes it doesn't really work out very well. Some champions, of course, are fully unique and they do not have reskin versions, but there are definitely more than just one. Shaman was just kind of an example. So I'm wondering, you know, obviously this actual champion that you see here, we don't have another champion that looks like him, but is the attack animation taken from another champion in the game? If you guys know the answer to that, feel free to let me know in the comments section here. So now moving along, I actually want to show you guys a couple of other images that are tied to this guy right here, because this is not the first time that we have seen any kind of information about this champion. In fact, there's other information and other images of this guy already circulating that were released a couple of months ago. And, you know, this is all supposed to be related to Battle Pass Season 2, which, of course, I'm sure a lot of you guys know by now we were supposed to have gotten, but it's been delayed, and delayed. So let's take a look at this image right here, which is actually his index image. And the interesting thing about this image right here is it actually has the champion's ID, which is 5080 or 5080. And if you actually take a look at the index, every champion in the game has their index portrait, but also every champion has an ID that is associated to that champion. And generally speaking, I don't know if this holds 100% true for every champion, but of course, you know, the earlier or the lower their number is, the closer to 0000, the longer those champions have been in the game. But it's not 100%, because, you know, if they made updates or changes to certain champions, then they might have actually updated their number. I know that it wasn't true when actually going through the entire list, and I do actually have the entire image for all the index portraits for the champions. There were a couple of deviations and things that made it a little bit off, and actually even still some champions that have a really low identification number that have not been released, probably because they just got changed or maybe they got completely scrapped. But interesting that you know, he's got that ID of 5080 and he still has not yet been released, and that's actually been in the game files for a while. This image right here, this one is not new or anything, but we still have not seen any of all those champions that were leaked a while ago related to Battle Pass Season 2. Now, here's just an image of his actual skill kit. Now, I actually believe at this point there are leaked versions of images that have these skills in detail, but I want to point out that they are several months old at this point, and we've now seen champions released where the leaks have been a little bit different than the actual fully released version, or at least they were missing some stuff. So if you do decide to go back, I know I have a video on the channel from a month or two ago getting into the details of the skills of a lot of these unreleased champions. If you take a look at their skills, just keep in mind that, especially with all the delays that we've actually seen, there is a very strong possibility that the skills from a couple of months ago that you saw in those leaked videos are not actually going to be what they are when they are fully released. But nonetheless, he looks pretty cool right now. Very, very strong, legendary, and I'm really hoping that they don't actually change the champions when Battle Pass Season 2 is released. That's been a topic of another thing that could be delayed. What if they didn't actually like the list of champions and the lineup that they had, and they completely changed it out with other champions, and maybe like the Battle Pass Season 2 champions are actually going to end up being the Battle Pass Season 3 champions, because it's pretty crazy how this has all just been delayed for so long now that we've seen so many different versions of these leaks actually get released to different people. So all right, next up here, I want to show you guys another image that we've seen before, but interestingly enough, you can actually go back through in the game files, and the cool thing about this is that it's actually got Battle Pass Season 2 in the name of this guy's image file in the game directory. This is all in the actual game, by the way. If you guys are wondering, it actually does not take a ton of technical knowledge to go through and take a look at this stuff like you guys see in this video here. And you can see these images and also the file names for this stuff in the Raid Shadow Legends game directory. And I want to show you guys this right here that actually ties this image, the one that you guys see on the screen, not the other champion that I showed you guys with the attack animation, but this guy right here ties him to 0505 underscore BP2 underscore mag. And we do know that this is a mage type champion. He's actually got a really cool skill kit, at least from a couple of months ago when we saw more information about this guy. But the other interesting thing here that I noticed is that for some reason, this guy was the only champion in the lineup of the several Battle Pass Season 2 champions where they actually put BP2 in his name. The other champions that are, that were planned to be released with Battle Pass Season 2 do not have BP2 in their name. And you can see, just as an example, the very next champion, 0507 Acid Golem, which I believe is indeed this guy right here. Notice how he's just called Acid Golem, right? There is no BP2 in his name, but we've seen many images now at this point linking these champions in the same lineup of champions to be released with Battle Pass Season 2. So, that kind of brings up the question of, was it a mistake? Maybe they weren't actually supposed to put BP2 in the name. Obviously, if they don't, then it leads to less awkward situations when they end up delaying this stuff for a really long time, because they can always just come out and say something like, well, yes, Battle Pass Season 2 has been delayed, but the champions that you guys saw leaks for, well, we never actually originally intended to release those champions in the Battle Pass anyway. That becomes a little bit more difficult to actually do if you've got Battle Pass 2 in the actual name. So that's something else that I was thinking about a little bit. So really interesting stuff. You can find a lot more, and I actually went through, going back to these original files right here, the two files that were actually updated a couple of days ago. There's a lot of other really crazy stuff that was added to these game files recently. Now, some of it is stuff that we've actually seen before, and a couple images that actually, really surprisingly, because we just got 2.1 today, I noticed that a couple images in the game files that were uploaded on July 13th, we actually see here, like the Ultimate Warrior Summon Draft. I believe the Fusion image right here, this was uploaded at the same time. I think even this image right here was also uploaded to the game files at the same time as well. And there is some other stuff, especially a lot of the stuff related to the tag team, like these images, but there's still stuff in those files that we have not actually seen yet in the game. And I want to leave off here with an image that probably, or at least I'm going to guess, that 99.9% of you guys will never actually see in-game officially, and it's honestly probably for the best. I don't think I'm going to actually see it in-game as well, and that is this right here. You've earned it. Now claim it. So one of the things that I noticed in the actual files was a lot of stuff related to the shop. And of course, you know, the very controversial addition of levels 60 through 100. You know, the fact that we don't get any extra energy with those added levels. A lot of people were wondering, you know, what's going on with that? Why did they add all those levels if they didn't really provide a ton of benefits? And of course, in the game files, you will also find all of the banner images for not just level 100, but also there's one for level 90, level 80, and I believe level 70. There might even be some other ones as well. I don't know if it was 75, 85, and 95, if those also had a banner image for this right here, but there are definitely shop offers associated with those additional 40 levels. So really interesting stuff. This is just kind of scraping the surface here, but I wanted to show you guys some of this stuff, especially that attack animation, because it looked really, really cool. And I'm really looking forward to those champions, so I do hope that they end up releasing them sooner rather than later. But that's going to be it for the video. If you guys enjoyed and you want more videos like this, consider leaving a quick like. It helps out. Thank you to all of you guys who do that. Consider subscribing as well, and more raid videos should be popping up on the screen right about now. Feel free to check them out, but if not, until next time, take care, everyone. This is Salt of the Salty Guild, signing out.